Welcome back, and today I want to talk about seeing the whole thing instead of just seeing parts of it. Let's talk about it. If you would look at this cigar or the flame that lights it, you would not see much. You can only recognize things when you see it as a whole. Of course we can look into detail in everything, but this will not lead to an understanding of what something is. Let's say I would show you some pictures taken through a microscope of some cells of a leaf of a tree. There's no way that you could tell which tree it would be or what kind of leaf it would be. You can analyze it in the smallest detail possible, but you would still not understand the whole thing, the whole structure of this form, And what applies to this tree, what applies to this leaf, also applies to existence. To understand existence, to understand being, you have to see it as a whole and not just in little small pieces or aspects of it. And this is what we do, what we teach our children, what we learn in university. When I went to university, I did not learn something about life, I did not learn something about existence in school. And I studied biology at the university, and I did not learn anything about existence or life. What I learned were physiological processes of living forms, I would say, of a plant or an animal and whatnot. But this did not help to understand the whole thing, the whole perspective on existence. If you want to understand life and existence and you're present on this earth, then you have to understand that everything is a whole thing and not just small pieces of it. And of course it can be fun and can be interesting to look deep into the functional processes of a plant, of a leaf cell, and how it works and how it does its job. But this will not give you the knowledge you need, the wisdom you need to understand life, to understand existence. It will just show you what was created and how it was created. And there are some things that we will never find out, never figure out how they work, because they just do. They just are, because they have to be. If you want to understand your way of life, if you want to understand your reality, the same applies. You have to watch your whole life, the whole thing, as one, as everything. Look at it as a construct so complex that you cannot just pick pieces out of that. Let's say I would ask you what the most important moment of your life was, and you would present me with 1 hour or 1 minute of your maybe 40 or 50 years of life. What would that tell me about you? Nothing. I would have to see you as a whole, as a person, as a being, and not just one particular moment. I would never be able to understand the complexity of yourself when presented with one single moment of your lifetime. And so you can see a forest full of trees, or you can watch a single cell of one of the leaves of one of the trees in that forest. It will tell you nothing about the forest. You would not be able to see the forest. You just see one cell and maybe how it functions. But that's all. That's not something that will bring you wisdom, that will bring you feeling. So is that science. Science will not provide you with wisdom. You can only achieve wisdom if you step back and watch the whole thing at once. Everything that there is. Everything that happens. If you overanalyze it and you go too much into detail of everything, you will miss the point. You will miss the wisdom that it provides to you. Things get clearer when you start to see them as one, when you start to see them as the whole thing and not just as pieces. And so it is very important to start to see the things around you as a whole. Let's have a look at your reality right now, at this moment, the reality that you created and now experience as the universe, as God, in your humanly body. If you want to understand why it is your reality and how you created it, you cannot simply think about what was the last thing you did, But you have to see yourself as a whole, as your identification with what do you identify with from your past that does not exist anymore. But most people identify with their past. And that, what you feel and what you think out of your past, will be in the now. And reality is created out of the now, out of your state of consciousness. And so to understand why all these things happen, so everything that happens, may it be good or bad, this is a judgment that only we humans are capable of, but everything that happens around you is the sum of your feelings and thoughts from the past that you identify with in the now. And so if you want to change that, you have to see yourself as a whole and not just small pieces. And so to change everything, we first have to understand that this is not just one picture of your life that is now created and you live in. It's the sum of everything. So we have to see everything as a whole and not just as simple pieces.